Hello everyone. So this video is specifically related to the reading assignment discussions, also known as RADs. So this is something that we discussed like the first week during course orientation and the welcome video, but I wanted to put this on your radar because you in this course have to complete these four required readings as part of your assessment grades. So this will be included in your average of your grade, and you will have four of them that you will have to complete. There is the first one coming up soon, due February 25th. So I thought it would be good if we went over and talked a little bit about the REDs so you're familiar and understand what the expectations are. So, what these RADs are, or these reading assignment discussions, are really allowing you to dive deeper and to make connections with the content. So, all of the articles that are used in these reading assignment discussions are part of the required reading. So, that's part of the reading that you'll be doing, but also it makes connections to our content that we're learning about. So, as I mentioned, you're required to do four of them, and the due dates here are listed. So, first off, I want to show you how you get to the actual RAD information. I will also have links in the weeks that you have them due, but I wanted to show you where they all would be located. So if you click on Module 1, Getting Started, underneath the table of contents, all the information about the assignments and everything you need to know is going to be in there. So if you click on Module 1, Getting Started, you have to scroll down where it says Assessment Information. And you're going to see there's two things that say reading assignment discussion. So one of them is the actual link page that gets you to the links with the articles, and the other one is how we break down the points. Okay, so first let's look at the reading assignment discussion. So when you click on it, it's going to bring you to the page where I was just at. It explains that each RAD, is how I refer to them, are worth 10 points. So I have included the weeks that you will have a RAD and a link to the reading article as well as the due date. So the first one coming up on the 25th is talking specifically about parent involvement, right? Working with parents of students with disabilities. So this is something that I talked about on the parent interview assignment choice that you have for one of the major assignments, where you're going to be interviewing a parent who has a child with special needs. So this is all really connected into how do we collaborate with families who have children with disabilities. So this is really going to dive a little bit deeper with this article. So, when we're looking at this article, we're really looking at what are the successful ways or guidelines for teachers who want to have a good working relationship with parents. How do we get them involved? So, you're going to read the article and you'll see the due date there. So, for each article that you read, like I said, that it is part of your reading, but you are going to have to do what we call a discussion post. Okay, so I have given you prompts. You will use these three prompts for each discussion that you do for each RAD. So, for instance, you see I have the following prompts here. I felt like the two or three most important concepts from the reading for me as a future teacher are, and then you will list them. And I want you to go a step further. I want you to tell me why these things are important, these concepts. Why are these things that should be highlighted from this article? The second prompt is talking about what you're not clear on. So, something that confused you or maybe you don't understand. And then a third one is really going to be talking about a question that you would like to ask your classmates about their understanding or thoughts. And what this is really going to do is to allow for a deeper discussion with your classmates. Now, some of us had decided to participate in the practice RAD. It was not required. I had given feedback to students and replied, but here is really going to just let you see how you're going to be graded. So I included the rubric here, and I want you to see what the criteria would be for this assignment. And it will be the same for all RADs that you complete, and there's four in total. So if you look here, I'm grading you on three criteria areas. The three components that you'll be graded on is your post, okay? The second is your reply. So what do you reply to a classmate? Does it add something? Do you make sure you ask them questions? And then the last, of course, is grammar, spelling, and format. So does it flow? Does it make sense? Is it organized? Obviously, we have to look at college level writing as well. So let's go back to original post. So when we're talking about this component, I really want you to see that you have three opportunities here, three scales. Okay, so you've got below expectation, meets, and above. So let's look specifically at meets. So this is things that you should be including within the post. So you should be able to complete all three prompts. So you have to answer all three. You have to list at least two concepts with the understanding of their personal and professional importance, the one concept or idea that you are not clear on, and then what's your question for your classmate, and it has to be related to the concept of the article. So another thing I want to note is that in order to get an A, you have to do this and have these in here, right? So I want you to realize that this is meeting expectations, but to get above expectations, you have to also be doing this, right? So those are the things to think about when you're looking at how you're going to be graded. So the next thing is your reply. So I agree is not really going to give you much in that area as far as points. Okay, you need to obviously be respectful, but you have to add something to discussion, right? So the things that you are putting in there draws from the information that's related to the article based on your personal opinion or your experience that you have. So it's adding something more. Okay. It's really going to make it where we can go back and forth with discussion. And you'll see here, there's this plus more at the bottom, right? So one of the things, for instance, that you can get exemplary or above expectation is maybe you provided an outside resource. Maybe it's another article, maybe it's a link to a web page that you want to share. So those kinds of things are meeting above expectations. And then obviously we have grammar, spelling, and format. So really we're looking at, you have minimal errors. It flows, you completed it by the due date, and also you use terminology from the article. Okay, you'll see that that's over in the above expectations. So it shows you the points breakdown. So obviously for original post you would get 5, a possibility of 5 points. Reply, you can get a possible of 3, and then for the grammar, spelling, format, you can get a possible of 2, which makes a total of 10 points. So this is how you're going to be graded. So going back to this, I told you that you also have what we call points breakdown that helps you see how the points are breaking down, which is really what the rubric is. But I did include it there for you as well, so you can kind of get an idea of your grading expectations. So it just points out that you have the rubric there for you. So make sure you review the rubric before you complete the assignment and before you submit it as well, so you understand all the parts and what I'm looking for. So that will be the RADs. So I said that the first one is due on the 25th of February. So this video is going up in plenty of time for you to start working on that. I don't want you to feel rushed. What I always tell students is when you're looking at articles, it's good to have time to sit down and read them. Maybe take notes, highlight some things if you print it out. So this is just going to allow you to really be involved with this discussion. So, how do you get to the discussions, right? So, there's a link to the article. So, when you click on it, it's going to open up in a new page, right? So, you're going to see the article that's going to pop up, the guidelines for successful parent involvement. So, there's the article for you. So, how you're going to get to the discussion is you're going to click on communication and click on discussions. You are going to have to scroll down toward the bottom because the first module, the first discussion topic there is really going to be if you have any questions about the course, where we did our introducing ourselves, then we had the first assignment. This is what you were supposed to be completing this week. And then you'll see it's other discussions we'll have in the course. But if you go down toward the bottom, you're going to see a heading that says reading assignment discussion, RAD. So this is where you will find the link. So the first one obviously was just your practice. This one is guidelines for successful parents involvement. So you are going to go ahead and click on that. And then when you click, it's going to have the article there for you. But if you want to get to the actual discussion board itself, you have to click where it's highlighted blue. When you click on it, it's going to take you to the discussion. Again, there's several places where I link the article so you can always have it there for you. And then the rubric is there as well. So you would start a new thread just like you did when we did our assignment last week. And then you'll be able to answer these three prompts. Now, remember, you do have to respond to at least two other classmates' posts. Okay, so obviously, good job or I agree is not a valid response, and you will not be given credit for that. So I want you to add to the discussion. As you'll notice in our first homework assignment, I really try to reply to as many students as I can so I can be involved in the discussion since this is not an in person course. But I will always email you once I have graded your discussion. And then you should be able to review the replies. And please check the discussion boards because once you do your immediate post, your initial post, and then you reply, you should always go back in and check it because someone may have asked you a question or they may have responded to a question that you posed for them. So it's important for you to go back and check it often. Don't just put something on there and never open it again, right? Because part of a discussion is for you to continue it. All right, well, that concludes the video for RADs. Like I said, if you have any questions, you may reach out. So, as our schedule has stated, the first RAD, the Guidelines for Successful Parent Involvement, is going to be due on February 25th. So, please make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to work on this. And if you want the schedule, like I said, you can go ahead and click on content and it's going to be underneath module one. So once you click on module one, getting started, you'll have all of the dates for all of the reading assignment discussions and it will be under assessment information. I would try to make sure that you highlight this or note this. And even maybe if you have a planner or calendar, mark this down so you'll have these dates. Okay, so the second one will not be until March the 3rd. So, but I wanted to just make sure that you have plenty of time to prepare for these RATs. All right, guys, until the next time, take care.